welcome to Scalemodeling, and welcome part 2 of the group build of the ASLAV. And this is a group build with myself, Hibbo and Jason. And I thought I'd just come back here now and show you. In the last part I had the rims for the tyres drying, and now we've got them here all done, dried with the tyres on them, and looking pretty good, eh? Nice. So I think I can put them on much later. So we'll put those aside, and that will be step 6 completed. Fantastic. So I can move that away. We can cross circle that one as done. And we've already done step 7. Step 8, all it requires was the toolbox and the rack for it. But that completes the whole undercarriage of the ASLAV, which is ready to paint. Now, I did say that I was going to do this all in black primer, but now I've changed my mind. I'm going to do it in the Outlaw Paints grey primer, mainly because I've got that we've actually got a the camouflage scheme on here requires a lighter colour, and having a black primer down and then having to do a lighter colour over the black, you're never going to get it the colour you want. It's just going to take too much work to get that lightness coming through. So we're going to do it all in grey, and it's going to be fine. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to go and spray this, and then obviously that's going to take time to dry, and we'll be able to make a start on over the page. I haven't forgotten the tool kit. I'm still going to figure out about that, but and there's a few other bits and pieces, so yeah, maybe we should get that done. Hey, yeah, we'll do that before we pull out the top of the ASLAV and start working on that, because these all need to go on there. Okay, so if this is the first time you're here watching this video, I suggest you go into the playlist, where this will be under the ASLAV playlist of videos, and this is part 2, so you can go back and watch part 1. And also Hibbo's model bench, and also Aussie scale modeler links will be down in the below for the in the description, along with the links to Outlaw Paints if you want to get any of these fantastic paint sets, whatever you need. And yeah, I'll get on with it. I'll stop talking, get on with it. All right, I'll be back shortly. Okay, welcome back everybody, and what I'm up to now is this little tool setup they have. Oh, by the way, there's our top of our ASLAV, very detailed. Looks really nice, eh? And there's also a really lot of stuff to go on here. So it's all been cleaned, washed, any residues all taken off, it's dry, ready to go. Now I've got the rack here, which is to go on side there. Yeah, pretty much like that. All right, and I've got all the tools here ready to paint. But I just want to give a tip, which, well, somebody gave me a tip. Paul Price, one of my subscribers, suggested to attach this, but don't do the tools till later, which is obviously smart, and I almost didn't think of that, because this needs to be painted separate. So what I will do is I will attach this and paint these and get these all done separately, and just put them aside to go on towards the end of the build. Also, along with that, which that will almost complete step 8, other than the fact that the tools won't be put on it. Also, along the same idea, is in step 8, we've got a mounting plate here for what looks like a saw blade, another tool that goes on it. and that is CC on here, and we look up here, there it is, CC, where is it? I saw it there before. It's here, there we go. So it goes on top. So that is probably something that can also be attached onto here without the tool. Again, I'll get the tool and I'll put it with my other pieces, and they can all be done separately and kept off, just so that they get painted. There's another bit here. It's a hatch of some sort, I think. No, that's that. Okay, a little bit confusing. That is that. No problem. There's a little hinges that need to go on that, so we can do that and then attach it. All right. Yeah. Now the copula that sits on the top here, noticed has GP4, which are clear parts. So around there, fortunately, they go on from the outside, which means that I can put that piece on, leave these off till the very end, place them, save myself masking them up. And then there's other bits and pieces that will need to go on, and that's what we're working at now. All right, so yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this part. Okay, you saw the tires, they're packed away. They can go on at the end of the build. I'm pretty sure nothing will be in the way of them going on at the end. Yeah, enough talk. Let me get some of these pieces off and we'll start attaching some on here. We'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So I just wanted to show you this part here, which is really, really tricky. It's part of step 9. It's this hatch. It actually has a couple of linkages that go on either end, and then a rail along the length of it. And then in between the two, there's a tiny little bit of photo etch that goes in there. And what I've found is that if you dry fit everything, the photo etch, then you put this rail in, and you put there's a little pin that goes through both the hinge and the photo etch, and then there's a little bit that hooks into the groove on that side. Once you get all that on, of course the hinges are glued to this hatch, but everything else is just dry fitted. Then come along and place it on the top of the ASLAV, because that photo etch piece needs to go into a slot that's in the top. Once that's lined up and that's in place and everything's pushed down, then I would be gluing it. So at this point now, I would glue this on. So I'd put a touch of glue in here, touch of glue in there, and run some extra thin around, which you could do, and I probably would, hold it from the inside just to make it cleaner. That's the easiest way. Otherwise, it's really quite fiddly. All right, just a tip there. I've got this piece. This is the top of the bottom of the hatch there. That's going to go in place on there. I've already test fitted it like that. There it is. Perfect. The clear parts will go around there. I'll put them aside, label them for later. But that goes. There's also a hatch to go over the top of that, so you don't need to worry about painting the inside of that, because you won't see it. There'll be a top for that. And then we'll move down into step 10 once these are on, and move onward. Okay, so I'll be back in a sec. Okay, we're back again, and just going to show you the hatches glued down. Fine. Now, what I've done is on top of that, there's a saw blade that's made of photo etch. So I've made that up there. It's got two plastic little handles on the end. And I'm going to paint that with my other tools, and that'll go on later with them. Going on now to, also what I've done here, and we'll have a look, is we've finished step 8. I've circled that, but I put these little asterisks next to the tool part numbers just to show that they're going on later. So we need to come back to that. Same with the saw blade, put a little asterisk, little mark there, but otherwise that's done. The clear parts for the glass in that copula will also be done later. So again, that's just to remind me to come back to those. So step 9. Step 10 we're working on now. I've noticed there's some more clear parts down here, which will be around this area here. So they'll go on at the very end. This also has, there's a board or rack of some sort that sits on the side. Here it is here. I've just taken that off. I've got to clean that up, put that on. And then we've got some hatches, both covering this part, and this part. And on those are some handles. So I'm going to put those on before I attach them onto here. So we'll put the handles on there and then we can glue them down in place. There's also a few, looks like handrails on the side. Your foot rail there, step up on. They got to be put on. A couple of other little bits around as well. And on the sides here, some hooks. So we'll go ahead, and of course we go down further here, and we've got quite a big bits of Photo-etched that looks like they cover these grills here completely. A couple other bits of Photo-etched that'll go in the back here. Yeah, lots, but let's get this part done first, eh? Okay, I'll get them ready to attach, and then we'll come back as I'm putting them on. Back in a sec. Hey there, I just wanted to show you just a bit of a tip. When you're putting on these little hooks that go on the sides here, and little grab handles, I think they would be, it'll tell you there's one there, and there's 2 of them going on there. Okay, there's one there, this one. But if you go through the instructions to the next, working on the other side, it doesn't show those pieces going in, it shows them already there. All right, so just be aware when it tells you to put one there, put one on the other side as well, because it gets a bit deceiving, because down here we got F5 and it says both sides for F5, but for F8, for V57, F11, all these other ones, it doesn't say both sides, even though it is. Okay, so you could easily miss parts putting them on. I just thought I'd throw that in there. I've put this little vent or whatever it is there on, put a handle on there, which I'm going to go put on the other side, even though it tells me not to, or it doesn't tell me to, but I know that this one goes there. This little handle here, I've got to put one over there as well. Yeah, just make sure you do the opposite sides as also. Okay, I'll keep going until I get to I'll put the handles on these hatches, and we'll come back and we'll put the hatches on together. All right, back in a sec. All right, back again. I've done those hatches, put the little handles on them. They look fine, test fitted them, no problems at all. And I'm about to glue them on. I just also, I meant to show you this earlier. Here's our primed up hull. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Look at that beautiful coverage, eh? That Outlaw Paints grey primer, perfect. Now, I did mention that I've changed to the grey rather than the black on this. Reason being that I was going to do some of the tan coloured in the camouflage, but now I've figured out and been informed that the Australian ones of these weren't tan, they were black and green. So that's going to make me rethink how I'm going to paint this, because even though it's classed as Australian, I think these are built in Canada too. But yeah, look, the green and tan coloured. So it's going to be black and green. So I'm going to have to find a few photos and have a look and see what I can do about that. But yeah, so there you go. Beautiful, come up really nice. All right, I'll put these hatches on, and then we'll move down to the next part of step 10. All right, back soon. Oh, and if you're wondering what I'm holding this with, this little trick I do is I get a nice thick piece of sprue, glue it to the bottom, and it becomes a handle to use while painting. And when you're all done, you can just clip that off, and it's all on the inside. It won't be seen. But, yeah, just makes it easy to hold. Good idea, eh? All right, don't steal that, Hibbo or Jace. It's my idea. Okay, back soon. Okay, welcome back again. So, where we're at, we've got all of our plastic on for steps part 10. So we did all that, and now we've done all the second part of part 10, which was the opposite side. Tricky parts was this little cage area here. I recommend that if you're going to fit that, the instructions are a little bit tricky on showing the location where it goes. But if you turn over the page and go, well, a couple of pages, and go to step 13 and grab the piece C10, which is this rack here, put that on, because that lets you line up. It actually, there's a little piece that goes over the top, this sits underneath, and it just helps you line up exactly where that goes, and you'll find that it, as wrong as it seems to be by the instruction, it is actually fine and it fits. But I've stuck that on anyway and just marked off ahead that I've got that on. So now, back, we're at the photo etch. So we've got two large pieces of photo etch to cover over these. Looks like they're like engine covers here. So we need to take these off the sprue and attach them. Shouldn't be too hard. Famous last words. So let me grab my little sharp knife, peel this back. Very fine mesh on this. So this is piece number 11, which is the back one here. Let's get that off. That, there, there, there. And probably best to peel it behind and let it fall out. There we go. So that's that piece. While we're at it, take off number 10 as well. Good. Plastic back. Oh, must have missed a bit. Try that again. Oh. There we go. It's done. Try and put the plastic back on to protect the other photo etch. Yeah. Right. That does look like it got bent a little bit, but that's actually going to have a good effect, because I can imagine that thing would get damaged. So that looks all right to me. Okay, so now it's just a matter of, well, first of all, I think I took that off pretty clean, so that is going to go on top of there like that. And this one, I should go on there. we go. Beautiful. There we go. So I'll use my MIG ammo photo etch glue to place that in, and I'll just clean up a little bit on the edges there that needs sanding. Just that little spot there that stopped it sitting in. And yeah, we'll come back when they're on, eh? Okay, back in a sec. Okay, so I've got the mesh down. Got a bit of weights on top just to let that set. I'll leave that for a while because the MIG ammo is a bit slow, so I'll give it an hour to dry. I also didn't realize there was 2 more bits of photo etch. It's actually 4 pieces. They're quite simple to go together. They're part of the latch for the covers on these access areas here. So I put those on, and that was it. That completed step 10. I'm going to leave that over there to dry. So step 10, we can circle that. That's all done. Of course, the only thing missing is the saw blade, which is over there to be painted. We'll just leave that for now in case there's some more parts. Over the page, step 11. Pretty much just a matter of turning this around and working on this side as well as those covers, and just a few other bits and pieces to go on here as well. So, oh, of course there's more pieces because they do it in 2 sections. Once you've got all that on, then you come down to here and work on that. So there's a cover to go over that on here. Yeah, more braces, more brackets, and tons of stuff on that. All right, so I'm going to leave this and let this set for a bit longer. I'll come back and we'll make a start on that. Okay, doing good so far. I'm pretty happy with it. It's coming up all right. It's got its issues, but we're getting there. All right, be back in a sec. All right, back once again. I've got this area here around is the muffler, and there's our muffler exhaust. I've done a test fit to make sure it would fit in under there after I installed the surrounds, and it does, because I want to paint this separately because this is going to be pretty grey and rusty, so it's going to stand out a little bit. So yeah, that'll be fine. I've also got these which ones was it? The hatches on. These ones here. Yep, they're on. And yeah, half of step 11 is done. We just need to move down and get onto this, which included those side pieces around the exhaust. A little bit of photo etch there. I'm not sure about putting that on. We'll have to find out if that can go on later. There's a frame, a couple of frame extras to go on here yet, and a couple other pieces on the top here. We'll get to that. So also I've undercoated the tools, so they've undercoated them in black, so we'll bring them out probably next and get them all hand painted up, the handles, wood handles, and the aluminium or steel looking shovel heads and so forth. All right, so I'll put this aside for now. We'll come back and we'll work on those bits. I'll be back in a sec. Hey, welcome back everybody. So we're going to do the tools. So right here, we've already undercoated them black. There's the other ones all there. So we're going to start with the axe here. I've got for the wooden handle a red brown. I think that'll look quite good. And then for the actual head of the axe, I've got flat aluminium, which will look good too. And then there's these little metal connections where they actually connect onto the top of the vehicle, which I'm going to leave grey, or I might do them in a like a gunmetal grey. See what happens. Yeah, and these, of course, the toolkit itself, the frame is already on the ASLAV, but these will get placed in that right at the very end. But I'm going to guess that the actual clasps that hold these in place are going to be just a metal color. So pretty much what I need is some nice small brushes. These are Icky Sticky brushes. We got a number 2 and a number 1 there. So I'm going to hand paint these. Need a pretty steady hand, so I haven't drunk too much coffee. I should be okay. The idea is to do the brown. I'll do the brown first and then come back and do the axe head. I'll also do the handle on the shovel here. Got this one to do. There's also another, like the head of a pick. There's a pole there, which I'm guessing that's for the pick. So that'll also be a wood color. And then we have the saw blade. And that's just going to be the silver aluminium. Okay. Much easier to paint these tools while they're off, you know, than trying to do it on the tank. Plus with the camouflage scheme, it'd be impossible to do them on the vehicle. I said tank, didn't I? It's not a tank. Anyway, so I'm going to shape these up. They're already thinned. And I'll do the axe first, and then we'll come back and have a look at it. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so I've done the brown on the wood handles. I've just decided to go with the dark iron for the metal parts. This is a really nice iron here. It's going to go on nicely there, in there. I know it's hard for you to see, but I will get the macro lens out and take some photos. And you'll be able to see exactly how that's looking. Alright, I'll finish this off and then I'm going to do the flat aluminium on the axe and shovel. Be back again in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So I've painted them all up. There they are there. They're a bit small to see. I'll throw a photo up there. You have a closer look. They come up okay. Once they've got a bit of weathering and you know, a bit of dirt and so forth, it's going to be around. They'll look good. I'll probably do a bit of panel line wash on the wood there, just to give it a bit of a wood grain effect. Yeah, so they'll go in a little container now, something like this, and put it aside and labelled, and they'll be the last thing to go on our vehicle. Okay, so I'm going to finish it up here. I think I already showed. There's our primed up underside of the hull, all finished, and we're at this stage here. Photo etch and everything on. There's still a few more bits and pieces to go on, yeah, it's gone real well. You'll notice I didn't put the clear parts on there because, I mean, that'd be a silly thing to do because you got to paint it, don't you? So now you're going to have to mask them up. Not saying any names or anything, but anyway. So anyway, this was video 2 of the group build. That's 2 videos, no mistakes. Yeah. And get over and watch Hibbo's and Jason's videos of their builds. The links will be in the description. And yeah, I'm enjoying this. It's going really well, and I'll see you all in part 3. Okay, bye guys. See ya.